Hello and welcome to another edition of San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans
by the fans.
I'm your host, Josh Taylor, with my co-host.
I am Justin Smead.
And, we're really hoping we can get you guys to call into the show. We keep shouting it out week after week, and just waiting for somebody to grab their you-know-what and give us a call. We want to hear your voice.
Hey, you can be nervous, too, when you call, because I'm nervous every show. So
absolutely.
You got to have those nerves flowing.
Absolutely. Call us, 619-387-3452. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely.
Going to jump right into it here. Chargers.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football,
baby. Yeah.
Got a tough task coming up. The Raiders, their running game is, when McFadden is healthy,
Studley.
It's hard to stop.
Studley.
It's hard to stop. Arguably one of the best running attacks in the NFL.
When he's
especially, they got to be one of the best in our division.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Running the football, yeah.
And, they have a tough task.
Oh, yeah.
Monday.
We're starting on the road. On our show notes here, we have an 8-2 since 2002, which to me is spectacular, especially against a division rival. Usually it should be skewed, pretty much even. That's the way the home game should go. But
no, 8-2 in the black hole is impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, in 2002, that was the era of LT when he just dominated the Oakland Raiders. So, Any division game is going to be tough. You know that. Anytime we go to Kansas City, Denver, all hostile environments, that black hole is going to be rocking on Monday Night Football. The crowd is going to be crazy. We're going to see some intense hits. The Raiders and Chargers beat each other up to a pulp. Hopefully we come out injury-free.
Right.
So, it's going to be a tough start to the season, Josh. But, I have a lot of confidence in our team, veteran savvy. I think we can go in there and get a win.
So what are you most excited for? And I'm not just talking about, obviously you're going to be excited to crack open a beer because let's not get wrong.
Right. We're going to have a beer and watch some football.
There's going to be some tailgating involved.
Right. No.
And my thing is, what are you most excited for as far as, the offense, the defense, special teams, a certain player? What are you most looking forward to, on Monday?
I think when we talked about it earlier, it's just seeing the whole team together, seeing them come as a full unit. The 53 men that are actually going to be on I'd say, was it 56 at dress, 53 total, but that are going to be out there and playing. And we haven't seen this team together all preseason, and people want to, huff and puff about what happened in San Francisco. I don't look at the San Francisco game as a measuring stick for me.
Preseason.
Right, it's preseason, and there are a lot of people out there, that showed a lot, that showed a lot. No. You will see on Monday Night Football our real team, how we handle pressure, and what we do. That's the most exciting thing to me. Football is back. Our Chargers are back.
Right.
Let's see this team overall and see how they play.
Couldn't agree more. My biggest thing, I honestly think, is defense. I really want to see the defense. Special team preseason. There was a lot of players trying to make the roster. They were trying to figure out who they're going to keep, who they're going to cut. Now I want to see, Reyes get unleashed. I want to see Ingram get unleashed. I want to see Jarrett Johnson in there full time.
This is grab your cojones time now.
Right. I'm ready to see the defense as a whole, and see what they're capable of.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one thing that, it's not that anything that no one knows. Our defense wasn't very stout last year. We didn't get the turnovers.
It's flying under the radar this year, and a lot of people don't understand what this defense can be. Everybody wants to talk about the offense this year. What's wrong with the offense? This and that about the I think in time the offense will be fine.
Right.
Let's talk about the defense and how many turnovers we might have more than we had last year to get the offense the ball more times to try to score.
Right.
So for me, it's looking. I'm more excited about watching our defense play.
Absolutely.
Flying around with our veterans out there. So you get that nucleus together. Let's see how they roll on Monday Night Football. So
absolutely. The biggest thing, obviously our defensive line is going to get tested because Darren McFadden is obviously a beast.
He's a hashtag beast.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's vulnerable. I mean, the guy's gone down with injuries.
He's kind of a China doll too.
I hate to knock Ryan Matthews, but he's had his injuries as well. But when they're both healthy, they're both great running backs.
Right. No, I agree too.
I think the biggest thing for us is if we can shut down their running game, or at least hold them under 100 yards. I think that turns into a W.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, if you hold Darren McFadden under 100 yards, I'd say you're going to have a pretty good day. Seeing how the Raiders receivers are banged up a little bit, they're going to be predicated on running the football. I just hope that he doesn't gash us early, because if he gashes us early for big yardage, watch out, because some of these young guys might not know how to handle adversity right away in a big-time stage.
Right.
So if we can get out the blocks fast with the defensive unit, defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebackers, stuff that run, that's what's going to tell to me about how this game's going to go.
Right, and on the other point, not to get away from the defense, but on the injury front, obviously we got Gaither out, which we all know how you feel about that. And if you guys didn't see it last week, you need to go on our YouTube page and watch Justin's rant, youtube.com/San Diego Sports Junkies.
Right.
But there's also news that Matthews might be starting opening day against Raiders.
There are rumors flying. He said he wants to play. I heard on 1090 today, Marty Caswell, she's an insider for the Chargers. She's there all the time. She says that she thinks he will play on Monday Night Football. And for me, if he's healthy, get him out on the field.
Absolutely.
Get him out there, because our best Ryan Matthews competes with their best Darren McFadden. We get a game-changing dynamic to our offense. I like Ronnie Brown, but he's not Ryan Matthews' speed on the outside. He's not Ryan Matthews' catching ability on screen pass. He's not as fast as Matthews will be in that game.
No, and we talked about this earlier as far as the fact that he's not going to get 40 carries.
No,
that's not going to happen. He's going to split time between Ronnie Brown. Mm-hmm. I think in short yardage situations, you might see a lot of Jackie Battle or LaRon McClain pounding the ball, because they want to obviously keep him away from as much contact as possible. Obviously, it's football and you can't avoid it.
No, you can't avoid it.
But I think they're going to see a lot of passes to the flat. You may see some pitch plays.
Power routes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think obviously he adds a dynamic to the offense that Ronnie Brown and Jackie Battle do not.
And that's what we had discussed before. For me, it's if we get him in there and he's healthy, I'd say give him about 8 to 10 carries, if possible. That's a lot still. But you mix in the Battle and Brown, see what we can do, running back by committee type game. If he is going to play, just don't get him hurt. Don't put him in a situation where it's,
short yardage,
3rd and 1, and up the middle. I mean,
if they're wanting him to pound through the middle of the line,
give it to Jackie Battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Or McClain. Yeah, like you said.
I agree.
Keep him off that gurney.
So NFL.com has the Cowboys and the Chargers as the biggest underachievers. Do you like the fact that we're an underdog and opposed to being a front runner like we have been in years past?
I'm not upset about it. I understand we are underachievers here in San Diego. We have underachieved here, and that goes without saying. With the teams that we have had here, the talent, the amassed talent we have had here, underachieve is being very, very friendly and kind. Yeah. You can say a lot worse things.
No, we have. I mean, with Tomlinson and Gates and Rivers and, all the talent that we had on the defense from 2008 moving forward.
Yeah, but the other point I wanted to make is the Cowboys. You can't compare the Chargers to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are awful. They're a good team, don't get me wrong. But they haven't won a playoff game in what? I don't know how many years.
I think Romo's won one.
Did he win last year?
I think Romo's won one.
Well, okay, if it was last year.
One playoff game.
But I can't compare Romo to Rivers. I think Rivers is far more accomplished than what Romo has done.
Right.
Romo is very solid, don't get me wrong. But the accolades that the San Diego Chargers have racked up over the years doesn't compare to the Cowboys.
But I think what they're getting at is on paper.
Right. No, and I know what they're trying to say.
On paper are, a very good team.
Right.
On paper, the Chargers are a very good team.
Right.
But they both underachieved. You know, like we were talking about earlier, the Chargers in years past were Super Bowl favorites. You know, we had all the talent in the world. We had all the depth in the world. Now they're saying, the Chargers don't have that depth which you and I tend to disagree. We think we've improved over last year as far as depth goes.
We think so, as fans looking in.
As fans.
The outsiders don't.
Right. We're not experts. We're not professionals.
No.
This is just our opinion.
Our opinion.
But I think the Chargers are talented on paper.
Right.
They need to prove it. And Monday night is going to be a lot of eye-opening, for
a lot of people.
us, for the experts, for everybody.
Right. And like we said, I can't express to you how big the game is. Monday Night Football, the last game of the night, last game of Week 1, for that matter. It's huge. It's a huge game. Going up to the Bay Area, going into that environment, you got to get a win.
Right.
And it might shut a few people up and say, hey, man, that was a solid win. I don't care if you win by 2 or 1 or with a late field. I don't care.
Gotta win.
You just got to get a win. You got to get down and dirty in the AFC West because it's going to be a dogfight all year long.
Yeah, division games are by far the biggest thing. You got to win in your division. You have to do good in your division if you're going to make it to the playoffs. And with playing in Oakland, God, I get fired up because there's not one team that I despise more than the Oakland Raiders.
Right.
And to start and end against the Oakland Raiders, it could be a great thing or it could be the most painful thing in the planet.
It could be bad, but the Raiders experienced that firsthand last year, and they came into our house and beat us. But you know what?
We knocked them out of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. They had a lot on that game. They had a lot on the line. And we crushed their hopes and dreams, and I loved every frickin' second.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to move on to our next segment, the Chargers Pick to Click. Obviously, there's a plethora of names that we can throw out there.
Plethora
but
is nice.
Who do you got?
For me this week, I'm going to go with my boy Melvin Ingram. I want everybody to know, or I want everybody to see why he was the first pick of the draft for the San Diego Chargers. I think he's going to bring that dynamic gameplay changing aspect to our defense this year. I see him getting a sack this week, and I see him putting some pressure on the QB. I'm not going to say he's going to go out and dominate with 5-6 sacks. That's not realistic. But I think he's going to make a few plays in this game and go, well, that's exactly why we brought him in here.
Right.
So,
and I mean, like you were talking about earlier today, even pressure on the quarterback. He doesn't necessarily have to sack the quarterback.
No, get hurt.
But if he gets them, out of the pocket where most people have difficulty throwing on the run, especially
Carson
Palmer, who's on the latter years of his career.
Yeah, he's an average quarterback. He's good.
He's not the quickest thing in the world.
No.
But when you get most quarterbacks out in the flat like that, it makes it a lot more challenging.
Usually disaster time.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more challenging to complete those passes. So couldn't agree with you more.
Who's yours?
Personally, Antonio Gates.
Yeah, baby.
Antonio Gates.
All day long.
Feed him. Get him the ball in any way, shape, or form. I say Gates is going to have a big day. I'm going for somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 catches, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
For fantasy owners, high five.
Yeah, absolutely.
High five.
If you don't have him, you're a fool.
Yeah.
Jerry, who is our parts person, has every Charger in the planet on her team.
She's got the whole San Diego Charger roster on her team.
Right, which is going to bode well for the bye week.
Yeah, what's she going to do on a bye? She's going to sit everybody?
When it comes to fantasy, I don't agree with that.
Well, that's the rule. I mean, you can do that.
You can do that, but I don't agree with it because you can't say that we have the best player at every position.
No. I think people who draft like that are just drafting with their hearts, not their head.
Right, but if you have Gates, I think you're going to get some
a
quality
solid
points
this year.
Absolutely,
because he's going to be the number one target for me. Robert Meacham's not going to be the number one target. I think he's going to be a solid receiver for us.
Right.
Malcolm Floyd's going to be a solid receiver. I picked Malcolm up in late rounds in my draft, and I think he's going to be great.
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gates had 1,000 receiving yards this year.
If he stays healthy and that foot stays good and we keep him kosher, yeah, he could have 1,000. He's done it before, so why not?
Absolutely. We're going to move on. I know you guys are going to be upset that we're not talking about Chargers anymore, but we got to cover the Padres a little bit. Finished August with the second best record in the National League at 18-10,
killing it.
Especially the last half of the month. Man, they were playing some really good ball. The offense,
exciting.
Even the last couple games that have been kind of tough. We've lost some close
losses,
ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, the offense put up 30 hits in the last 2 games. They've put up 14 runs in the 13 runs in the last 2 games. Headley alone drove in 9 RBIs.
In 2 games.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, the last 2 games, definitely heartbreaking, Josh, to say the least. When you score 10 runs in a ball game, you should be able to win that ball game.
Yes.
But you lose 11-10, and that's how baseball goes sometimes, and especially in Mile High against the Rockies. That was just a nutty game. I mean, like I told you, I left for a minute, and we were up like 3-0.
I did the same thing.
Came back, and we're losing. I'm like, what's going on in this game? But
I'm over hanging out with Grandma, and we're up 3-0, thinking things are good.
Did she make her special brownies?
Right.
Nice.
Going to work on the old beanbag toss, which I've been throwing Twitter pictures up there. If you guys haven't noticed, it's coming together well.
He's making a nice beanbag tailgating situation for us.
Exactly. Come back and we're down 7-3, and I'm like, what the heck is going on around here?
Yeah, I know. It's one of those quirky games you see in baseball once in a while.
But the nice thing is Kelly hung in there. He had 3 more solid innings, didn't give up any more runs, kept us in it. We managed to get the lead again.
Yeah. The word you could use is resilience.
Right.
You could.
Absolutely. And to see that out of a young pitcher is, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does, because here you are, a young guy on the mound. You're trying to do your best, and it goes for all the players. You get down a few runs and you're already winning, and it takes a turn on you. You could just easily fold the 10 up and say, "I'm done. We can go on to where are they at now? They're at home. No, we can go to LA. We can just pack up." And they didn't do that. So it's like, I give them credit for being resilient.
All year long they've been resilient.
Yeah, they're showing a little fight in themselves.
And biggest part of that, the second half, is Chase Headley. I mean, the guy's in fuego. He's got the most RBIs in Major League Baseball.
Take that, Jason.
Yeah, I didn't stutter. That's the most RBIs in Major League Baseball.
And Jason
50
still
RBIs.
Yeah, Jason still doesn't think he's going to get 30 home runs this year.
Yeah,
I don't. I think he's going to get his 100 RBIs, but I just don't think he'll get 30 home runs.
What do you think he's going to like?
He does. I hope I'm wrong. I think he'll finish.
You sit on an ice block?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm still sticking to my guns. I think he's going to be 30, 100 plus. And if they don't sign him soon, I don't know. I'm going to be very frustrated.
He wouldn't have taken 28 home runs at the beginning of the season.
We all would have.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
I'm going to up it for you, Jason, too. I'm going to go 34 bombs this year.
Oh, shit.
I am. No, I'm serious, and I'm not lying to you.
I think Grandma brought you some brownies.
No, I didn't have anything to eat yet. I'm starving, actually. But
gotta cool down.
No. 34 jacks. Mark it down. Put that on your black book, whatever you got. Put it in your iPad. That's going to happen. 34 jacks, and I think he goes well over the 100 RBI mark. The guy's on a tear. This is one of his career years. He's just going to keep it flowing. Every time there's a guy up on base, on the base path, he comes through.
Right. I mean, the guy, he's had 9 RBIs in the last 2 games. I mean,
I know he's got to come back down to earth, but maybe in spring training.
If that isn't clutch, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he gets National League Player of the Month. We're not talking a week.
No.
He was the best player in the National League for the entire month, had 31 RBIs, had 10 home runs, which led the National League in both home runs and RBIs. Sixth in runs scored with 20.
That's crazy.
O'Malley Group, if you're listening, and you're probably not, but if you are listening, we need to ink a contract extension for Chase Headley because he's here to stay.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if we wanted to go out and make a splash in free agency, that's all fine and dandy. But go out and re-sign your own guys, just like they have been. Why not extend the offer before the season's over with to give Chase a little more stability in his mind about where he's going to be the next few years? And that would just make his confidence more, I think, a lot higher.
Absolutely.
I think he could hit his 35 jacks with that confidence of the contract. So, I mean, I think he's going to do it anyway, but
let's hope.
Yeah, a little more added incentive. Hey, here's a 3-year deal. We really think highly of you and your production this year.
Right.
Why not? Why not sign this kid? He's a homegrown talent.
Right.
Get him inked up, man.
Right. Pitching. It's getting healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, Cashner's back. You got Thatcher back. They just called up Bass today, which Jason knows I have a man crush on, and I honestly think he's going to be a solid number 2, number 3 starter for years to come for the Padres. Here's the thing. We're in the September mode. It's the final month of the season. We have one series in October with Milwaukee. I think the biggest thing for the Padres, getting this pitching back is only going to help our team in September. Obviously, we have some tough competition because we got the Dodgers, we got the Giants,
big market teams now.
I think we got Milwaukee, obviously. We're playing some teams that are competing for playoff spots, and to have these fresh arms come back off the disabled list is only going to help us, because I think we ran into that last night.
Definitely. I see a little tiredness going on with taxing the pin and whatnot. For me, it's cool to play the role of the spoiler.
Right.
You do. Yes, the first half of the year didn't go as planned. We know that. Right. It was abysmal. We hated it. We were out of our minds, disappointed. We had really nothing to look forward to the beginning of the year. It has taken a total 360. I mean, it's
180.
180. I mean, you don't want to go all the way back.
We didn't revert back. No, to the beginning of the year.
You took a 180, and it's gotten to the point where every game you want to watch now. You're excited to watch Padre baseball. Yeah, they're not going to win the division, but look at what they have to build on with a new ownership group and money. And dude,
and we know the pitching's there. I mean, they're injured.
Yeah.
We get them back healthy. The pitching is there. We have plethora of pitching.
We have talked about how good our pitching is going to be.
It's the offense that struggled, and the offense has not struggled anywhere in the second half of the season.
No.
And to interrupt you real quickly on the pitching, with all these guys coming back, they announced today for the rest of the season they're going 6-man rotation, which I think is
really. I have not heard that.
I didn't see that either, dude.
I haven't heard that, but Cashner, they said they're going to throw him Friday. I did hear him mention that Bass could be in the rotation right now. He's going to be in the bullpen. They thought maybe if Cashner gets a little taxed, they could throw him in there to eat up some innings on Friday.
Why not go with the 12-man rotation? I mean, we got enough pitchers. Let's do it.
Right?
Yeah. Come on.
Just because it's September calls, we don't need to get ridiculous.
2 weeks later,
we still need to play spoiler.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, Volquez, it's your turn.
Yeah. Right?
No, you know what I mean? No, but it's good that they're going to get these guys a little extra time to rest and going down the stretch, get another guy some innings, because you're going to have so many guys in spring training next year.
Yeah.
It's great to see the depth. You can never have too much talent.
Right.
Never. It's a good problem to have.
I want to touch on a couple things really quick before we jump up to Aztec news. Painful for me to see Adrian Gonzalez in a Dodgers uniform. There's two teams that I can't stand more in this planet, and it's the Raiders and the Dodgers. And for somebody that we enjoyed for so many years and, is up there in the leaderboards in Padre history, now wearing a Dodger uniform is painful.
I don't want to talk about it. It is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. I love Adrian Gonzalez. He's always been a fan favorite here. I hated when this trade went down. I couldn't believe, for one, it was going down, because it was probably one of the craziest trades that's ever happened, because they ate so much money in L.A. They took on a lot of payroll.
Good, and I hope it
backfires.
I hope it backfires big time.
I do too, and I just it does suck though. It's bittersweet. Yeah. It's very bittersweet. And when he comes back to Petco, I'm going to boo the crap out of him, because I don't like the Dodgers, and he plays for the Dodgers.
Right.
I love you, Adrian, as a person outside of your Dodger blue. That's it.
Ultimately, we're fans, and
we're not. I'm not going to be rooting for you.
If you're not wearing Padres, Chargers, Aztecs, we're going to be booing you.
Right.
We do not want you to succeed.
I never cheered for LT when he went to the Jets. I just can't cheer for another team. I love LT, but that's not how it works.
Couldn't agree more.
You're a fan of one team.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So Aztecs football, opened up against Washington on the road. You know what? I know you're frustrated about it, but
I am.
21-12. The thing that frustrated me, I think, the most is that they went for 2-point conversions, which really kind of
left 5 points out in the field.
It hurt them in the long run. I mean, they were knocking on the door to arguably tie the game if they didn't go for the 2-point conversions.
Right.
It would have been 21-21, or they could have been up 24-21 because they missed the field goal.
Right.
Or they went for it on fourth and got it called back.
Definitely.
I did see some bright spots in Katz. I know you don't agree, but I did think he showed some poise running the offense. Other than the interception, I think he looked pretty decent for his first time out.
You know what? I agree with you there. I agree that he had some moments where he didn't look. He looked like a veteran. I mean, he's a senior.
Right.
We're so used to Ryan Lindley. That's what I tried to touch on earlier. I guess we hold a higher standard now because Aztec basketball, football, whatnot. I'm going to get off subject there, but it's starting to come in their own. The programs are really starting to pick up steam, and we expect a little more. I guess I didn't expect them to go in and win. That's a tough environment. They played in the Seahawks Stadium. Field.
Not only that, but their quarterback is like Heisman candidates. Like
Exactly.
they've already given them the trophy, and the season just started.
Right. And the next thing I was going to touch on, the kid from Washington. He's like RG3 out there. A guy, he's got all the skill sets. He's supposed to be a projected, I don't know, top 20 pick next year, something crazy like that. But I was just impressed with the defense. The defense came out and played like, if they play defense like that all year, they'll win some games this year.
And the defense only gave up 7 points over the final 3 quarters.
Right.
Okay. A credible stat I was actually reading is they haven't given up a touchdown in 3 years in the third and fourth quarter.
Really? The Aztecs?
The Aztecs have not given up a touchdown
the last 3 years?
Since 2009.
So that's a product of...
In third and fourth quarters.
So that's a product of Brady Hoke and Rocky Long.
So it's the defense clamping down big time.
Right.
And that's something to build on.
Right. No, and that's when Brady Hoke originally was brought in here the first time, and Rocky Long was the defensive coordinator, they focused highly on defense. That's all they focused on. So, for me, I'm not surprised the defense is playing well.
No.
The offense has to kind of pick it up a little bit with the loss of Hillman to the Denver Broncos, with the loss of Lindley to the Arizona Cardinals. You got guys that have left this team that you're just used to. You're used to production. So when you see Cat's out there running around and he doesn't make a great play, you're kind of, why, man? What's up? It's not because I think he sucks. No, he's a good, solid quarterback. He's going to be fine.
We lost a lot.
We did. We've lost quite a bit. When you take Ronnie Hillman out of this offense, it's a big blow.
No, it's a huge blow.
But I like Walter Casey. I like some of the things that they're doing. I like Escobar, the tight end.
Right.
The tight end I think he made a touchdown in the first half. He's going to be a stud.
Right.
So, yeah, there's some good things. There's some real bad things, too. I don't agree with Rocky Long going for it all the time. I think you need
to 2 for 3, though.
It's not smart football at times. You can't win too many games doing that all the time.
No, I can agree. You got to pick your battles for sure.
I think so too.
I think him stepping it up on fourth downs is a good call, but at the same time you got to pick your battles. You got to be smart. If it's a close game, 3 points. There's no guarantee you're going to get that first down.
No,
so 3 points is better than nothing.
Yeah, 3 points is better than nothing. I just don't. I don't like to see points taken off the board when they're right there for the grabbing.
Yeah.
So
we're going to move on to our D-bag of the week, and we kind of tossed some ideas around, but NFL and the NFLPA, this is all on you, because watching these
replacement
refs is ridiculous. I mean, the guys, it's like they don't know half the English dictionary.
Right.
They're looking at each other, pointing fingers, looking for help. They
don't know which way to stand.
They're pointing in the wrong direction. They're calling the wrong players. I mean, you guys need to step it up
and sign.
I mean, $45 million difference between both sides. That's ridiculous. I mean, I understand it's over 8 years.
That's astonishing.
But how are they that far off in coming to an agreement?
Yeah, it's inevitable. You have to get these guys in here. These referees are going to screw up some games for this league. You're going to have some very, very upset teams. You got guys that were Pop Warner coach referees. You got guys that were doing not even D1 college games.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They got guys.
High school coaches.
One guy was the referee of the Lingerie Football League. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah, good job, NFL, man. That's awesome. And then you bring the poor chick in, and she gets a big, beating because she's a girl, for one, and she's in a man's world. I understand that doesn't really have anything to do with it, but you bring her in, there's more controversy. I thought she did a good job during the game, but all this controversy around referees.
Right.
Referees. It should be around the NFL and the players and teams, not what the referees are going to call. And that was not a pass interference call. Oh, it was a pass interference call. I don't know who I'm calling it on.
Right.
I don't know where the flag. Where's my flag?
Right.
Well, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You got to get these guys signed. You're going to screw up our games for us.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I agree with you. The biggest thing, obviously, they're going to cause a couple teams to lose when they probably should be winning the game.
Yeah, if they cost somebody a shot at the playoffs. teed off are you going to be?
It's not like it's baseball. It's not like there's 162 games and they can make up calls. They screw one game. One game could mean the whole friggin' season.
Yeah, Joe Schmo throws a flag and he doesn't even know what he's throwing it for.
Absolutely.
Oh, huddle on in here. I'll tell you what it's about. I don't know what it's about. Did you see anything? No, I didn't see anything.
And then when they go to the replay booth, it's an actual ref upstairs telling them this is the correct call.
Yeah, because they have no clue what they're watching.
Clue.
I mean, obviously they're not morons. These people probably are good people.
Right.
They're not morons. I give them a little credit for getting out there.
And it's the NFL's fault.
It's not their fault. They're just trying to make a paycheck too.
Trying to do the best they can.
And they're trying to get exposure and experience. I understand that. But the NFL has no right to do this. They need to this is priority number one. This should be priority number one.
Right.
This is going to screw this season up, man.
Well, it's not only that. It's like you look at the fans aspect. The fans are getting frustrated as well. You can see
coaches on the sideline visibly upset.
NFL is arguably the sport.
It's the biggest sport in the world.
Arguably.
No. To me it is. So my opinion matters.
So, I mean, NFL, you need to get your bleep together and get this stuff done because if I'm going to be seriously livid if they cost the Chargers this season.
Yeah, you need to get your S together.
No more hockey leagues crap.
Yeah, you need to get your S together, and you are a D-bag. The NFL is D-bags. I usually tend to side with the NFL. I like the NFL and what they do for everybody and their football pleasure, but not when it in regards to wins and losses and calling football games. That shouldn't happen. We shouldn't have to worry about what the ref's going to call.
Right.
So
get it together.
Yeah,
NFL, D-bag.
D-bags of the week, baby.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go on to the Twitter questions, and I appreciate you guys sending us messages on Facebook and Twitter all week long. We select a couple questions that we want to answer on the show, and again, we're still waiting for that phone to ring.
Ring.
First question comes from @Boomershine_56. How is Jared Gaither not playing going to affect the Chargers offense?
Who? Who are we talking about? Okay. Well, first of all, Jared Gaither not playing isn't going to affect us one bit because he's not even in shape. Even if he was playing, he wouldn't be able to play. He hasn't even been on the field. So for me, if we're just talking about if he was there all the practices preseason, it's a big loss because he's a good left tackle. He's a great left tackle when he's playing, when he's in shape. But if you're going on based of if he's just going to decide to play this week and go, hey, I'm ready to play, he would have an impact for me.
So you think that an unprepared, more talented Gaither is not better than Harris? I would still take Harris?
I would take Mike Harris in a heartbeat.
Yeah?
If Jared Gaither goes, oh, my back doesn't hurt now, I'm fine. I missed all of preseason and all of training camp, and my hurts still.
Me, myself, and I, like we were talking about earlier with Ocho Cinco.
Exactly. And I don't know. We don't know if it's we don't know if it's true or what's going on with the guy. But for me, no. This guy bugs the crap out of me. For me, it's just get on the field and prove it, dude.
Right.
Jared Gaither doesn't make any impact to me in this season until he gets on the field. So, not to be mean to your question, I just don't like the guy. And, yeah, it's a big loss if he was in there and training hard with the Chargers. It's a huge loss. He's a big man.
Right.
So, that's my thoughts.
All right.
PO'd about that guy.
Hey, you got your opinion.
PO'd.
Next question from @BoltsFan1972. He wants to know your thoughts on Vincent Brown and the new IR exemption rule.
The IR exemption rule is awesome because...
Well, first of all, let's explain it.
Well, it's where you can actually be on the IR this year. I think you get one player, if I remember correctly, and he can come back at any time during the season. But I think it's a limited weeks. I think it's 4 or 5 weeks. What do you know, Jason? How many weeks sure?
He has to be out for 6 weeks, and then he can practice with the team and come back after 8 weeks.
Okay, so he meets that criteria. So that's perfect for the Chargers because that allows
out 8 weeks anyways.
Right, and it allows us to have that extra roster spot.
Right.
So we can have another player without going, hey, Vincent Brown, you're out for the year, because it used to be IR, you're done. Season's over.
Right.
So I like the new rule, and I hope to get Vincent Brown back soon helping this Charger team.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, Vincent Brown, we agree, I think, that, that's a bigger loss than Matthews?
Yes. Impact-wise, because Matthews isn't as long as Brown. If Brown was only out a couple weeks, I wouldn't say, and Matthews was out 8 weeks, I would say Matthews out 8 weeks would be a bigger loss.
Right, and we can honestly say Vincent Brown has the potential to be number one or number two receiver.
That guy can do whatever he wants. He's going to be
great speed, great route runner. They say that he's got the best hands on the team. So
this is a bigger loss than people give credit to. I agree. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler someday. I just think it hurts us real bad. But you know what? I do like this rule, and I do like it that it's in place for the Chargers this year. It's cool.
Yeah. If there's 1 year for it to come into place, this is the year for it.
Right.
Next question comes from @JollyGreen66. Will Rivers have any time in the pocket with rookie Mike Harris at left tackle?
I think so. Only because me and Josh had talked about this today. I think they're going to use their packages well. North Turner does a good job of power packages, bigger sets, tight end sets.
Right. The dual tight end.
Right.
Sets.
He'll move McMichael around. You get Gates in certain spots. You don't want Gates blocking too much because of that foot. You don't want to get aggravated. But he's going to have to do some blocking as well. And what's great about this team, and we've already touched on this, but you brought in a McLean. He can really block somebody. I mean, you could line him up in the slot and have him just chip block on somebody. So you could do a lot of different things with this offense this year. I think that's going to help rookie Mike Harris a ton. I really like Mike Harris. He just got to get more playing time.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I think he's a good kid, and he looks like he works hard. So
he's still wet behind the ears.
Definitely, and it's just going to take a little time. Great work ethic. Everybody raves about his work ethic. Right. He just wants to learn. He wants to absorb the knowledge, and he's really saying he wants to take pride in protecting Phillip Rivers. So that's good things you want to hear out of your left tackle. But.
Absolutely. And we kind of touched on this before the show too. Is a lot of Gates running. God, why am I losing this right now?
Gates running
the option or motion. Putting Gates in motion and
moving everybody around,
causing the defensive end to choose whether or not to rush the quarterback or because a lot of stuff is timing routes.
Right.
And so if that defensive end decides I'm going to try to bump Gates off the line to knock him off his timing.
Right.
That gives Rivers that much more time.
Right. And I agree with you.
To throw the ball.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think they're going to use a lot of motion set plays, moving guys to that weak side, if you want to call it a weak side. We'll see how he plays, Harris. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I think they're going to have to. They're going to have to put people in motion, give them different looks, catch that defense off guard with their pass stunts and their pass rushing stunts. That's going to be a big key to this football game this week. So
absolutely. If
they don't get protection for that left side, we're screwed.
Yeah.
So,
last segment, our over/under segment. Carlos Quentin. Okay, the guy's got 15 home runs so far this year. He missed 49, 50 games, something of that nature. Over/under, Carlos Quentin hits 20 home runs by the end of the year.
I think he hits 20. He doesn't play every game recently. They're trying to give that knee a break, but he's too powerful not to hit 5 more. And I think he's going to have a good last month here. He's been scorching the ball, just unfortunately he hasn't been over the fence.
Yeah.
But I think he can hit 5 bombs. I think 20 is a reasonable. And to do that with being hurt at the beginning of the year would be very impressive.
Right. He's been battling that knee all year long. Like you said, it's like a 3-game series. They start him the first 2 games, and then usually he sits out that third one.
Right.
They're taking him out in like the 7th inning sometimes, 8th inning to get some defense improvement out there in the field. I think he hits 20.
You think right at 20?
Yeah, it's going to be close, though, because
19, 20.
Like you said, he's going to miss roughly 10 games the rest of the way. So
you'd have 5 and 20 games.
He's got one every 4 games that he's going to have to hit.
I think he can do it.
Yeah, I think he's going to do it. It's going to come down to the last couple games of the season.
Yeah, I think he'll hit 20. And that's so good to see him and Headley too with his home run production. It's good to see a Padre team with some guys that can hit some bombs. I've been impressed with the whole second half here. Yeah. But Carlos Quentin just adds that big power bat you need. So
absolutely. Next over under. Okay, obviously we know the Chargers and Raiders are playing this week. Last year, we crushed their hopes and dreams with a 38-26 victory.
No
they put up 24 games in the win over us here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers over under. They scored 24 points against the Raiders.
Us scoring
27. Excuse me, 27.
Us scoring 27 against the Raiders. I think it's going to be a nice high-scoring game. No, you know what? I take that back. First game's going to be defensive battle, I think. Just come to think of it. I really think the trenches are going to play a big part in this game. Just thinking about it, I think we have an opportunity to get the ball back and make some turnover plays. And you know that the Raiders' defensive line is tough, physical. They beat us up every game that we play them. It's going to be a hard-fought battle in the trenches, and I think it'll be a little low scoring. I don't know. I'm thinking like a 20-17 or maybe a 21-17 type of game.
Right. In years past, I would go over,
right.
But if I was a betting man this year, from what I've seen, and I know it's preseason, but from what I've seen to this point, I think the defensive side of the ball has an advantage for both teams right now.
Right.
And I think it's under. Yeah, I think
it's under. Yeah, me too. I just think it's more of a defensive side of the ball. So we'll see.
You guys both need to give your actual predictions for the score of the final game before the show's over.
Let's do it.
Last over under. And I don't know why Jason put this in here.
Good job, Jason.
But number of times Rivers gets sacked versus the Raiders, he has it at 4.5. Over or under?
Well, good God, I hope it's not 4.5.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say is yeah.
I say under. I say the max would be 3 because I don't know. Phillip has a good way of getting around in the pocket. He's not a good outside the pocket guy. Once he gets out, we're like, holy cow, just get rid of it.
Right.
He'll start throwing left-handed. Yeah, good job, buddy.
I
should have brought that up earlier, too. But no.
And he is good at getting the ball out of his hands.
Right.
I mean, obviously you see him in frustration, sometimes throwing it at the lineman's feet.
Right, well, I think he does that more or less just to be in an area by a receiver. I mean, that's to get out of the pocket and just spike the ball, but it's backfired him a few times. That ball's been picked off before, too.
Yes, it has.
So, no, but I really think it'll be around 2.5, 3. I think they package it well to get him protection.
I agree. I think it's under 4.5 because if it's over 4.5, I think we're in deep. You know what?
Well, here, let's do this one then. Over under. Chargers get 4 sacks on Carson Palmer. Now you can be a homer and say 9 because I think they're going to kill him.
Yeah, I think the over of 4.5 that we sack Carson Palmer is more reasonable than the opposite, and I just think because Rivers really. Okay, whatever. He had a bad year as far as interceptions go, but Rivers knows he's smart. He knows how to get rid of the ball.
Right.
He's really good at his checkdowns.
That's what
and
he's good in the pocket. He slides well. He knows when the pressure's around him. He
right.
tries to get rid of the ball as much as he can.
Right.
I think he's the smarter quarterback and more poised not to get hit.
Right. And like you said earlier, there's going to be a lot of slant plays, a lot of, 2-3 step, quick drops, and he's going to get rid of the ball, so they're not going to have a chance to get to the
right, and that's the new dynamic of this offense this year. Quick throws, 3-step drops, get rid of the football. Get it out to a Royal, a Meacham. The list goes on. We have playmakers. Get it to them. Scat receivers. We're not the Vincent Jackson team anymore.
Right.
We're not going 50 yards deep. We will on occasion to Malcolm, and Gates can make a big play here and there. And once we get Vincent Brown, but I'm saying this isn't the same type of offense as last year.
Right.
So we're gonna have to kind of get over the fact that we're not going to throw it 50 yards down the field every time.
Right. So with that said, as we're concluding our show, what's your pick for the score? What's going to be the outcome?
Well, I think it's going to hover right there around. I think it's going to be 21-18. I think Chargers win it on a late field goal by Nate. The pressure-kicking machine.
21-18.
Yeah.
So you think there's a touchdown, a field goal, they go for 2?
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, no. There's going to be a touchdown, a field goal. That would be 13.
No, that would
and there's going to be a safety.
16 and a safety.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be around there. 21-17, 21-18, somewhere in there. So it's going to be a 3-point ball game. In the end, I think the Chargers win by 3. That's all I was trying to get to. By a field goal.
I say it's Chargers. It's going to be close, I think. I'm going 2017. I think they get They get 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
That's not a bad score either.
I think it's 20-17. Like you said, it's going to come down to who's got the ball last.
I think so too.
Or who has the most turnovers.
Nate the Great.
I think that's going to be key.
Nate the Great, baby.
Yeah.
Going to win it for the Chargers on opening night.
But regardless, guys, it's time to bolt up.
Yeah. Monday Night Football, boys.
We're heading into Raider Nation, the Black Hole, our second home, and we're going to take it from them.
Our second home. This is set up shop there, eh?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want that to be my home.
No.
That's a god-awful place.
No. But you guys, thank you for tuning in to San Diego Sports Junkies, as always, a show for fans.
By the fans.
I'm with Justin Smeed.
Hey,
Speed.
Justin Speed? He's speedy.
I'm with Justin Smeed. This is Josh Taylor, and we are out.